face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an Amaro passage to Kalusia. I will pick you out a friendly whelp. And there I was expecting a chocobo. A chocobo? Do you hail from one of Norvright's more isolated settlements, perchance? I hear there are a few places where they ride little else. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that Gravefellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding out, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amaro Lodge. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while we're ready to mount. Wait for me at the Amaro Lodge. Just mention my name to the tamer on duty, and he will see you taken care of. You want to fly an Amaro to Kalusia? Well, I suppose the Master Yenmei is going with you. Wait here, please. I will be back in a moment.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
We are arrived. This is Cracked Shell Beach on the eastern coast of Kalusia. You should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, Sin-Eater attacks are far less prevalent, and native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It's the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance. That is Yulmore, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Yulmoran elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements the protection, if been the need. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority. And while we are not at war, our relationship with Yulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. I am glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make you finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come across to a fisherman's shack. A friend of the Crystarium lives there. A man who goes by the name of Ivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Collusion. He'll be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme. That will let him know you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return. Wish to return already. Friggin' lawn gnomes. What are you after? Fish? Crab? I think I've got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you've a taste for them. Ooh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in a pan, and it's like a bloody festival of flavor. Now, what is it I can do for you? Can't say there's been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphinaud, eh? I know that one. A young champion of the downtrodden. Yulmore's richer than all of Norrand put together, but it's a different story for them as live outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now. Get a message to him. But you need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Look for a still tide. That's the fishing village just up the path. You're looking for a rundown excuse of a tavern called the Leak of Keel. Wait there now, see that Alphinaud joins you. Get yourself to the Leaky Keel in still tide. I'll let Alpha know someone's waiting for him. Yes, dear. Buy a drink or out you go. The seats are for paying customers. This is your first time at a tavern. It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Water. A fine choice. And what will you be paying with? Well now, those are exotic. Where did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry, dear. I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity, and I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors. So we'll just have to come to some other arrangement. Ah, here's an idea. It's common to the north than where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more of them than we have. What say you do a bit of extermination work? I want you to quash any vermin you find, and then visit the caretaker and give him an earful from me for sleeping on the job. He'll be in the old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me, and you can laze about here as long as you like. We have to kill 2. That's a kill quest I can get behind. It's been a while. We're going to be killing 8 minimum. Or they turn into a full bar quest, so you have to kill at least 20. It's weird because if this a while, this would go my critical massive cooldown. Let's use that for well. You're a monk. Kick the door down. Boxes when I do the next playthrough. Welcome back, dear. What did that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? God. Must have left to join the rest of the hopefuls. In Gate Town, outside Yomor? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take it to wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphinaud, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Me? I was more worried about you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure? And so we take to the road once more.
So nice seeing Alphinaud. Thought came to me. If Alphinaud came here to the first before Alice did, it means, in the strictest of terms, they are no longer twins. Because Alphinaud, relatively speaking, is older now. As for the bodies on the source, well, of course, they're still twins, but here, Alphinaud is now legitimately older. So my headcanon now has it that Alice was born first, just to really drive the point home. Another thought that came to mind is I wish the Warrior of Light had a lot more dialogue options throughout the course of these cinematics and conversations with NPCs. And that's actually something that has improved as the game went on. Definitely good. It's definitely fairly strong in Endwalker. But I also wish that they had started being voiced. I mean, there's only a certain number of voices you can use. Hero voices, Elezen voices, Hrothgar voices, VR voices, Cody voices, Ro voices, Lalafell voices. But to implement it at this stage in the game, all of a sudden, without backtracking into earlier versions of the earlier instances, like an ARR or Heaven's Ward even, would just be jarring. So, unfortunately, the way it is makes gameplay sense, sadly. Assuming you have no objections, let's make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to step on Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come. From here, we must first head west, then across a small bridge. Also, we're just leaving the bar unattended. Not that, it's really anyone to attend to. So 56 to the northwest. That actually might be on this side of the cliff. This music is calm and yet tragic. To the west, across the bridge. It reminds me to some degree of the French movie Manuel des Sources, which isn't the original form of the music. I don't remember who the composer was. I have actually performed it with the Organ Symphonic Band. No, it's not the accordion. Oh, it's on the wrong side of the cliff. sorry for going the snake route, Alphinaud. I'd say ultimately Shadowbringers is a little bit weaker on the music side from the other expansions, that's including A Realm Reborn. But this zone has good music. Kalusia seems peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar? I had a similar impression of the Crystarian. Even in this distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the source of reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! No! Get away from me! Over there. Quickly, someone's in trouble. I'll get a Terranium ready. Whoa! Oh, thank the fates. Look out! Noodle. My poor heart. Thank you, young miss. Ah, there you are. My haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you alright, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left here to hear me scream. Not that I let it stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yoma with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies will welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sending Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now I'm sure a strapping lass like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger longer in this place. There's not to be had but cobwebs and memories. Just as the lady says, many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yoma's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, their precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Aye, yes. Alice would be quite well qualified to speak on the subject. Compared with Amarang, Kalusia is almost a haven. As you saw, we cannot let our guard down. If you arrived but a few moments later, the Sin Eaters would have claimed yet another victim. Still, we have won a small victory this time, at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west. And here we are.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Ulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Ah, I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
Alright, what character did you voice?
She's not here to compete. Leave her be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please!
Ulmore does have good music.
Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all! Ulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu! Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Fish, is it?
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Ulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Ulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the city of splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, well, what have we here? A An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Ah, at last!
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Over here!
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gatetown, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via contest with ever-changing rules. Say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Yulmore's current ruler came to power. Yet from what I've seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I've tried to propose ways that they can improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that... well, maybe you should take a look, turn around Gatetown and judge the situation for yourself. Go, take the measure of Gatetown, I shall wait here. You're looking to get inside. Of course you are. Who wouldn't want to leave each day with a full belly and a pretty partner on each arm, eh? Still here, are ya? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gatetown's not much to look at, aye, but at least it's safe. And the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted. This is a stink to it, eh? I'm not been long here myself, but I can get the lay of the land if you want me to cover. Much the same as everyone else, I suppose. Just trying to survive. Used to be a fisherman, but then I got in my head that humor is the place for me. I ship out a boat and scanning fish on the shack. No, sir. It was long before I realized that fishing skills weren't exactly in high demand. Still, Gatetown ain't so bad. I should learn to ignore the smell anyway. I have no desire to go back to where I was. When I left, I cut ties with everything. My home, my family, all of it. I'm content to live on livings from Yulmore's tables and await my chance to seize the good place. A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chilies, meal. Go to an otherwise samurai. Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the life that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? Ah, Yulmore, you taught me with your promise of bounty. Ah, nice. Nicely done. I'm sure I'm not the first person to try that. I won't be the last. You've seen what Gate Town has to offer. These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of meal. I believe Yulmore is the answer to all their woes. And no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. You disapprove of Yulmore? It is difficult to make a final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. Perhaps it is uncertainty which makes me feel so ill at ease here. Not that it matters. However unjust the system seems to be, these people came to be content with their lot. It is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take the elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Yulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town. So hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Yulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Kalusia's people. I am not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all this. Yeah, I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by their hand of capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I've taken those long, delayed steps to Yulmore's gates. It is fortunate that you arrived when you did, Sarah. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city. If all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There is a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo they are called, though you and I know them as the Sahagan. For their most part, they keep to themselves in the ocean grottos, and rarely have dealings with the land dwellers. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular. When I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Yomoran lord would have time to work merchant who make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. My appointment with the Ondo is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Might you help me make the exchange? Excellent. I should be glad of your company. First things first, then. We must pay a visit to Moshamoa, my supplier in right. Come, it's just to the northwest of here. Moshimoa, the farmer of whom I spoke. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Moshimoa. This is my associate, Sarah. We are here to collect the produce I purchased. I loaded up your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know no such person. Miss Tillad? Short blue hair? No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and since he seemed to know all the details, I just assumed. Confounded. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If the charlatan was not here long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point to the south side of the town, now should take the west. Forgive me, but I had no cause to doubt the lad. Still, you shouldn't be hard to spot with all that blue hair of his. Sarah, any sign of him? You have a keen eye. Let's move in before it makes it go to his escape.
There you are.
All right.
The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmoran's interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kai Xie, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
That's not who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alphinaud, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then? Is that? I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble. Come on, they may need our help.
Yeah, he's breathing, I think. Though he won't last long without help. That should take care of the worst of his injuries. Have mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. Poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. I thought for certain I was dead. How am I to ever repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristal. I was invited to work into Yomar to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures of them for them, but my style proved contrary to their taste. They just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Vothry's city. Within days, he had brought me to before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamn ocean. From up there, how were you not dashed into pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. So, though I suppose if you hadn't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the cities condone such barbaric punishment. Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Vothry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Yomar, his word is law. The fires chased the chill from my bones. Thank you again. The more I hear about Yomar, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. She'll bend all my thoughts toward securing another way to the city. There must be something we can do. But first, we should convey Tristal to the shelter of the village. Fire no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. A way into the city. I wonder what Tristan will do now. Pray accept my greatest, deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And, if you'll permit me, I want to assist you in your attempt to enter Yomar, insofar as I am able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. But since it's plain you've set your minds to it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Yomar and Elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. If I'm mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I will give it gladly after you've done after all you've done for me. Besides, I can't. I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession. I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day. Should you make it to the city, have care of what you say and do. I wouldn't want to save you to save my life only to lose your own. You say kindness is his own reward, but Tristal has repaid us with a gift as timely as it was expected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps up to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do have some modest skill with a brush. Nothing approaching the a true artist, of course, but enough to play the role I will. So you... Well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, maybe you could pose as my assistant. Then it is settled. All we need to do now is return to Gate Town and await the next appearance of those vile jesters. Oh, who are you? Forgive me, it's not often we see travelers in, right? Though with how dangerous it is hereabouts. I've been worried for my husband taking the road down to the shipyard, and he's strong as a Talos. He has been gone for a good while, though. If you're headed that way, could you please let him know that his wife is expecting him at home? but you're the lady Alphinaud was traveling with, aren't you? I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name. It's Sarah. Ah, Sarah, how lovely to meet you. My name is Euless, and I'm the acting village mayor. I was hoping someone could feel your talents could pass through right before long. The thing is, I need to visit someone up at Stonegate, but I'm afraid to walk the path alone. Do you think you could provide an escort? My thanks. I just couldn't bring myself to ask one of the villagers. You see, there was an incident a while back where the veteran band of hunters was badly mauled. Simply mentioned that it's unsafe to wander outside the village these days would be enough to bring back the memories of that grisly scene, which is why it's been so difficult to even bring up the subject. But such does not change the fact that the roads are indeed dangerous. Pray meet with me on the path to the north and be prepared to fend off the wildlife. What did I tell you? I was barely 10 steps out of the village. Come, let us hurry along before more predators have a chance to gather. Thank you for the escort, Sarah. This is the gentleman I wish to speak with, so we needn't go any further. Say, Luke. Are you wandering around by yourself out here? You know what kind of creatures lurk around the borders of the village. Ah, well, if it isn't Clifton's little girl. Something I can do for you, lass. Yes, sir. I came for an answer to my proposal the other day. Have you given a thought to taking over the village as village mayor? I mean, the best I can do in the interim, but I have neither the age nor the wisdom to continue the role. And the rest of the villagers agree with me. I'm fairly sure I told you nay once already. But seeing as you found a guard just so you could come to talk to me, I may have to consider the idea, in exchange for a few small tasks. You will. Please, just tell me what I need to do. My friend Cliff told your dear father was looking for a sickle to cut some rope. Would you mind skipping back to the village and borrowing one for me? Or would you... I mean, a sickle, was it? For cutting rope. That shouldn't be too difficult. I'd only meant to ask you along for one trip, but if I'm to complete these tasks, would you be willing to indulge me a while longer? can do for you, stranger. Beaten with the hammer. Has it been that long? I mean, to salvage the planks from this old hole, but she's giving more trouble than I bargained for. But a voice leave all this lumber lying around. Not much call for seaworthy ships that's lighted by half the world understand. So I reckon it would be better for the woodworker like me to put it to good use. These boards, though, so tightly joined, I can't pull the bleeding things loose. Here, do me a favor and sprinkle some of this powder on the joints along the keel. Keep working on this end of thing like I can make home before the wife stomps down and fetch me herself. That should do the trick. Powdered fire crystal is the best thing for melting wood glue. Just pour a little water on the seam, and the steam will take care of the rest. This ought to be a one-man job, thanks to you. Now, thanks to you. Oh, if you got the noise, no, I'll be done within the hour, and then you will help me out. 2 rough spots to pay. He's alright then. Well, that's a relief. Right side instead of trouble, so no your wife doesn't worry. What? He had you helping strip planks? The cheek of that man. Still, we're lucky his father has taught him the trade at all, even if he uses those skills to take ships apart there instead of building them. The worker puts food on the table, so I'm grateful to his family for keeping up their traditions. I'm grateful to you for bringing me peace of mind. Please, take this for your guidance. Good day to you, young Julius. You look a little flustered, dear. Is there something I could help you with? And good day to you, madam. I was actually hoping to borrow a sickle. Is that all? Here, you can take this one. I have several spares, so there's no rush in returning it. Doing a spot of harvesting, are you? Why, thanks, but it's not for me exactly. I asked to bring one for my father. Your father? Shadow save me. Forgive me. If you dare accompany me in these tasks, then you deserve to know the whole story. It was my father, Clifton, who was the former mayor of Wright. And the incident I spoke of earlier was something that happened a year ago. One day, a stray senator came prowling around and slaughtered nearly half the village. It was a waking nightmare. Some of the villagers blamed my father. They said it was because he refused to accept the protection of Yulmore. Sheer scale of the tragedy and the accusations that followed that wore away his conscience. Until finally he could bear the guilt no longer. He hanged himself. Silent Luke, the old man he spoke of, was his closest friend. Considering how he worded his request, he seems he's quite reluctant to accept the fact of my father's death. So I will see this task to the end. Let's bring him his sickle, shall we? Luke, sir, we brought you the sickle you asked for. Oh, good. Clifton will be glad to see this. Oh, sir. Thank you for staying with me, sir. This might be harder than expected. Now we wait. Should be as good place as any. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention once more. What a day it's been for the folks at the door. We welcome a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've replaced a painter of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint, portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh ho! I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. What fortune that you should feel at ease around an easel. What proof to have you of your prowess? Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I've only my brush to testify for me, though you will note it has seen no small amount of service. Ah, ho, ho. Flecks of paint, both new, old, and old. So much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us and we'll put those talents to the test. And who is this hanger-on? Well, was your parasite? Why, this is my assistant. She whose unfailing support allows my art to flourish. I will go with her or not at all. Parasite, then. We shall leave our fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest vacant space, we retire to your sweet embrace. Oh, mercy me, the meal! We almost took a leave without leaving a loving token. We must empty our stacks ere we make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Huh. Looks even grander from this angle, eh? Eh? Welcome, welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No? Not even a single tear? Moving right along then. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice, loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk on the off to the side of the road. Much like the hopefuls in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city proper. If, however, you enjoy basking the envy of your fellow men, then by all means take your time. Why waste another moment? Go! Enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we had better show ourselves willing for the time being. Welcome to you, more fortunate friends. May I have your names? I am Alphinaud, an artist, and this is Sarah, my assistant. Ah, yes, I was informed of your imminent arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing your registration papers forthwith. Now, citizens of Euromore are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Vothry, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You'll be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve as a patron in the capacity for which you are chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patrons dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free or accept work as a general laborer. I see. And might you tell us something of the patron you are to serve? The two patrons, actually. Chai News and Dulia Chai. A Mistel couple whom most refer to as the Chais. You're both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you will officially be Ulmoran citizens. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the registration. Papers, please. What have we here? Alphinaud artist, Sarah as artist assistant. To be employed in the service of Lord Chinese and Lady Dulia Chai. Yes, everything seems to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before... Oh dear. You smell hideous. Did you crawl through here through a ditch? It's like an unholy miasma of dust and sweat and the musk of some unwashed beast. Proceed directly to the Dulaustery next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whichever showers are free. After you rinse away the stench, you'll want to splash yourself with this perfume. Liberally. Once you make yourself presentable, then you may sure to proceed to the Chai residence. Karen, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. I hadn't realized you were so aromatic. Where to bathe in here, then? You rinse yourself clean in this terrarium of water. You apply the perfume as directed, and the delicate scent of roses fill the air. Oh, you've showered and dressed already, have you? It's not that's it. It seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? Alice will be drying her hair by now. Wouldn't she just? Very well, I shall endeavor to emulate her boldness then. Courage off her. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering spells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go present ourselves to our new patrons then? Only directions to the Chai residence. You're looking to present yourself to the Chais, are you? Let me explain how the city is laid out. Imagine 3 layers, on top of each other. This layer is called the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters. And above that, you get to the canopy, which is where all the free citizens of Vilmar spend their days. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dame's parlor. They'll be in there like as not. know. What is it? Spit it out then.
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Oh, goodness me! What an adorable boy! That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he will paint us the most delightful pictures.
yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful! Welcome to Yulmore.
Alphinaud, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis she who best understands my work. With her unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations. Once the picture is begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than her being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city she has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for her priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on her behalf.
Oh, did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have her wish. She shall be free to roam to her heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Off you go. The city is yours to explore. Oh, and do be careful along those outer walkways. I should be most upset if you were to slip and fall. If my wife has given you permission, then you need not to seek my say-so. I'll ask that you behave yourself, draw no attention, be respectful at all times. Now that you've opportunity to experience Yulmore, I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city top to bottom. In other words, stop with the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls mayhap. Such places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share local gossip with the friendly visitor. I would appreciate it. Of course, if you would share any discoveries with me in turn, we shall both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. Oh, hello there. Fresh register, are you? You seem a little lost. Well, it's just lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have run into my attendant in your wanderings, would you? Big, strong lad. Long hair tied back. He was escorting me on a shopping errand when I realized I'd dropped my handkerchief. And now I've been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I'd be obliged if you could pass on my message. Forget the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. Wait. That was too close. Thank you, friend. I don't know what I would have done. Wouldn't have if he hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. The wind must have blown it over the edge, but luckily caught on something that I could just stretch out just far enough. You risked your life for a scrap of cloth. It's not just a scrap of cloth. Not if it belongs to her. Would risk my life and more to spare my mistress but a single moment of sadness. When I first came to Yulmore, I was thought only of improving my lot of life. But there's so much more to the city than wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. Residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My mistress has ever been so kind to me. I can think of no other place in Kalusia where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I must have gotten a bit carried away. I find it hard to stop when I start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me to meet my lady. Once she hears of your deed, you'll be witness of her generosity firsthand. What, lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet. Must return to her immediately. My tenant told me everything. I am so very grateful you were able to offer your assistance. You value highly then. As if you remembered my own family. I could not live the wonderful life I'd lead without him. You free citizens owe the bond of our ending gratitude. It may happen in another society at a different standing would be prejudice or resentment. But in your war, a most glorious measure is in place for such unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, all our property, financial, intellectual, or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated for the concern of earning coin has almost been a miraculous effect on the people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom we to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you excuse us, I must see what the markets have to offer as the reward to a return of my handkerchief. Oh, I've not forgotten you, of course. Our courageous messenger turned rescuer. All this talk of relying on the bonded, and I haven't given a thought to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Oh, you must really visit the Beehive. It's always buzzy with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tisa B usually has a seat near the entrance. She will gladly speak to you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. I'll leave my lady's side again. How do you think you'll find the Beehive far more diverting than watching me pick out new curtains for the parlor? Welcome to the Beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when folks are new to our happy colony. It's a nervous fluttering, you see. Always gives them away. Why don't you play some cards to set you at ease, eh? Quick game of high or low. Simply a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. You win, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Ready for a game of high or low, then? Good for you. No time like the present, I say. Three cards for me, 3 cards for you. You flip one of yours over, I flip 2 of mine. Now, what's it called? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? I'm gonna call high. You're going high then. Alright, let's see what we got. My cards add up to 10, and you have a total of 18. Congratulations, the guess is right. Usually I can see defeat at this point, but what do you say to do a rematch? One will win and we'll talk about that favor. Another match of high or low? Come on now, little honeybee. We all need our diversions. That's the spirit. Let me sort out the deck. Three cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, I'll flip over 2 of mine. Now, what's it called? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? 5 versus 6. 9. I call high. You're going with high then. Alright, let's see what we've got. My cards add up to 6. And you have a total of 19. Well, will you look at that? I think you've got a knack for this, newcomer. Congratulations. Victory is yours, as is the prize I promised. Come, whisper in my ear then. Don't be shy. Tell old Tista what she can do for you. That's all. How delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what you shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. They say Lord Rother was born with the power to command them, which means no Yamoran need ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might have to get a few words out of Alphinaud over there. There's not that the merry sot likes more than the sound of his own voice. Back for some more high or low, are we? I knew you'd be unable to resist. That's better. Come on, then, honeybee, let's have some fun. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over, I'll flip 2 of mine. Now, what's it called? Will your total be higher or lower than mine? 7, 12, 11. You're going with low then. Let's see what we got. My cards add up to 16. You have a total of 17. Oh, sorry, honeybee, but this match goes to me. Had enough for now. Fine. I'll be sitting right here should the mood strike you. What's that? New to Gilmore, you say? Huh! Only just arrived and you're already looking for the POA, the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all for chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I'll tell you what, you hop on stage and give us a dance first, and then we can have a little talk. Feel like I should. That's right. That's the way. Dance like there's no tomorrow. Well, that was a show. You're ready to clamber up on any stage. You're welcome to clamber up any stage anytime you like. So, what was it you wanted to ask me? Something about a fair city. Oh, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Yomoran army may be the essence of very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us, around 20 years ago, when the old ruler's son came to power. He's got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile as housecats. Wouldn't be exaggerating to say they've become something of an ally to Gilmore. No longer an enemy to be feared. And yet, elsewhere, still fools insist on fighting their losing battles. Pah! A toast to Lord Vothry. You've gained a preliminary sense of the city. Chais and Alphinaud will be expecting your return. You've returned from your jaunt around the city? So soon? You needn't have hurried back. Young Alphinaud has yet to put brush to the canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told. Or good artists, apparently. Ah, finally. I've put together an ensemble out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh, goodness gracious me! That last outfit was precious, but this makes you positively dashing. You truly are a handsome boy. However am I to decide? I don't recall this part of the artistic process. Exactly. The lad is an artist, dear. It's not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Must we? But I do love a good paint. But I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly. Well, I'm not. That is to say, as long as you... just make sure you give the time to prepare. We know who'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. What did you say, darling? So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? I think Alphinaud looks simply precious in the more frilly fashions, but he seems most comfortable in traveling wear. So I settled on his current wardrobe. It's not a common style you more, and I can just imagine the heads turning as he strides through the crowd. Must really have your mentor concentrate on his art. Our anniversary will be upon us soon, and I promise to have a portrait to commemorate our union. Lady Jai is a very particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how she dresses whilst painting. With this obsession of hers works in her favor. The time I spend indulging in these distractions is time you can use to continue your explorations. For the excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff out about the military headquarters. I'm sure the end of the story has some tale of it. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat. I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's just not getting better. If my patient thinks I'm of no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to Thoric. Here's my list of symptoms, and I'm not going to be able to pay for his medicines. Please, I have no one else to turn to. You don't know about the derelicts? Some nice shacks and ships outspread outside the Joyce Hall. That's where the apothecary lives, or at least that's what I heard. You need medicines? Tonics? Potions? A cure for an ailing voice, is it? No, medicine will cure this. He thinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. Must be cut out, excised. And even then, the voice may never heal completely. Poor little songbird. Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder? Or simply silence her chirps? Your face, you didn't know? Of the many hopefuls that enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. Oh, we might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest? Gone. A ton of nightmares it is. Not for the ship's rat. Oh no. I'm content to scurry around down here, nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This consultation is over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. Old hands, they know. Oh yes, they know. They just like to talk about it. Wouldn't want to upset the status quo. was the wrong angle. Did you get my medicine? So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? Ah, there you are, my sweet canary. You've been crying again. Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apothecary said... So you've been suffering all this time. I'm sorry, my pet. I hadn't realized your affliction was this grave. But you needn't fret. I'll not reward your hours of trilling by casting you out into the street. You're too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I've become more burden to you than the treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Valther and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise there resides neither pain or illness. You will sing. Your song will ring out clearly once again. Or maybe you think a step too far. No, You would do that for me. Of course. Why, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascension, knowing that your blessed instrument was waiting there to hear me. Ascension? Ah, you must be a new arrival. Allow me to explain. As you all know, the Sin Eaters exist to devour the sinful. They also serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them unto celestial paradise. It is through Lord Valther that we learn this truth. It is through Lord Valther's grace that the free people of Yulmore are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called to our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Valther is truly a great man, isn't he? Now, if you excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you've shown my precious canary. Oh, dearest, we really should have found you some new gloves. Yes, you're probably right. It's good to see you back. You were taking so long I began to worry something had happened. I've been sketching an outline for the portrait, but nay, the chives appear to be others occupied. I'm sure your investigations are clean thus far. So, Lord Valther boasts a manner of influence over the Sin Eaters, does he? That would explain the preference which is held by the citizen. As for this session business, I cannot help but be put in mind that that apothecary in his ominous remarks. So many folk have entered the city over the years. Then where did they go? Take one. I might offer you for one moment and you're chatting with the assistant of yours. I might assume the outline is done then. What in the blazes? It's so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alphinaud. Where's your artistic interpretation? Should evoke images in affluence and nobility, and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Lord Chai. You stated that the project was to commemorate your anniversary, yours being a joyous evening. It seemed to me that a realistic portrayal... Realistic! I don't want realism. I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken the jaws and weaken knees. To make people cry out in amazement. Now, fetch a blank canvas and... I did. Say, did that come from above? Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose set to ruin our fair city. But our lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and all who watched it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. A malcontent? How dreadful! And this man is to face sentencing. That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the immersion, the level above us where Lord Valtteri resides. Ordinarily, you'd be barred for entering, but it seems it'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The crown lift will take you up there. I better not dwell with it. Now, this is actually pretty good, but I see Chai-Nuz's point. In particular, I think his eyes are focused that way, and that's... It does need a little bit more life. Want to see justice being served, stop dawdling and take the crown lift up to the merchant. You will be careful on that malcontent, will you? It should so hate for you to come to any harm. Although I imagine Lord Valtteri has the villain well under control. Joining the crowd up there.
That's him. That's Valtteri.
Oh, right.
He is attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12. Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Dvortri, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us, claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Yulm is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do? But offer the sinner another way to show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin-eaters are part of Yulmor's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
Tis true that Kaishia won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmor?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin-Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
And people call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me. Of Yulmor. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could. Can you walk?
I think so.
Did that little worm just insult me? I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Thank you again. Forgive me. My anger, I seem to have marched us out back outside again. Though it's probably for the best we leave the island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yomor. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the city eaters will find us few allies in collusion. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We will need to regroup and think our strategy anew. Cashier, I have done you a grave disservice. You were hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risk inherent in you accepting it. If I had known but known the price you would have been made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you still stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Valtteri wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I'm certain we can find work for you there, if you're willing. No, that would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking. Learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but we must promise you'll be careful. The Yomorans may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. Alphinaud! Lord and Lady Shai. What in blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alphinaud. Now, I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted of me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you cut the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I will speak with Lord Valtteri and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I am sorry, Lord Jai. There are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days you have left to us in the fullest? Pray, press me no further. We are leaving, but would not presume to take the garments you were so kind of us to procure for me. One moment. Oh, I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return. I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides between the glittering facade. search was successful then. Good. I'll give the word, and we shall be off. Thank you, my friend, for staying on my side through this whole sort of endeavor. While it's not quite the joyous outcome I'd hoped for, our efforts have nonetheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Father and his subjects. Come, we must see where the Exarch will try to lead course. This is far from over. If you have business with the Crystal Exarch, just say the word and I'll be happy to escort you to the Ocular. I see you've reunited with my brother as well. I'd dearly love to hear how that story went. I am told that you and Alphinaud carried out this scheme to infiltrate Yulmore. I would ask what you thought of its space amusements, but I doubt you're eager to relive the experience. It's so good to be back amongst friends. Not to mention my dear sister. I've not seen her for some time, but I gather she's keen to press on with our plan Saya. And you've seen quite a the first yourself now. More than enough to appreciate the scale of the obstacles we face. Let us lay our discoveries before the Exarch and discuss what must be done. Every town can share the Christian spirit of independence. Still, I suppose one cannot decide for others what they should and should not deem important. My powers of persuasion certainly had little effect on the people of Kalusha.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmore might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed.
Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity.
Are you sure that eliminating the Wardens will be enough?
Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then.
Ooh, neat trick.
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed. At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands...
What?
Ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphinaud and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Hallminster Switch is north of Lakeland, so we had best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of that sensor gate. I shall lead you there, go there myself. All set. If we follow this road north, we will arrive at the northern staging point. The village itself lies not far behind. Quickly now. Welcome, traveler. I am authorized trader representing the crystalline mean and acquisition of bi-colored gemstones. If you find yourself in possession of any such gems, I can offer you any number of items provided with facets in exchange. So we wait. So we waited. You're here. We are heading in together, yes? Your assistance is appreciated. Mr. Switch is past these gates through the woods. It is not exactly a near neighborhood to start, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by the storm, and unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villagers, but as many as have remained. Judging by the number of eaters present, we have good reason to believe that the Light Warden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems that we have our chance to slay a warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside of them than all of their underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Vile ether will billow outwards and envelop the nearest living being, a reckless young swordswoman, perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Ah, well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must have to ask that the guard stand down and allow us to engage this leader of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from my ranks. I insist I go with you. Very well. Then our warden sailing party shall include myself, the lovely ears, Captain Lena, and last but not least... Formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Oh, she's DPS only? Of course she's a dancer. Oh, it's obnoxious.